And I think for us, we were so privileged that he's given us his blessing, and he said he loves the movie, and so to be a part of this one is just really exciting, especially to do one of his early works, and one of his favorite books was.
It's such a huge pleasure to be here with you, Alfred. You're
Thank
such a
you.
legend. Oh my God, I cannot believe I'm here talking to you. You
And I
have
want
such
to
an
know where you got that dress. You look fabulous. Your lipstick,
thank you so
everything.
oh, thank you so much. It's actually inspired in Frida Kahlo's paintings.
Oh, yes, yes.
Thank you so much. You look gorgeous as well. And oh my God, you have such a versatile career, Alfred. You are always able to go through so many genres. Tell me, what intrigues you to get in a specific project?
I always follow the story. First of all, if it's a story that pricks my ears or turns my head, um, I feel like the writer is queen and king. You start there, and then I want to know who am I working with? Who am I telling the story with? And that's your director. Gary Dalberman was it for me. He was our writer, director, executive producer, and I've worked on projects that he's executive produced before. So I just, I was game. It's, Stephen King. It's you want to be there. It's like, having Dudamel say, I really want you to come and do narration with the symphony. I'm going to be there. You don't even have to tell me who the composer is. I'll be there. And so I follow the story. If I know I can do something, why am I going to do it again? That's why I don't work in an insurance company. I mean, I'm glad people like that and they get paid a lot of consistent money. But uh, to have to learn something every time out or have a new perspective every time out, that's what's great about being an actor. We get to do it till we drop.
Yeah, that's so true. I heard that Stephen King gave his blessing to this project. This is his favorite book, one of his first books as well. How this movie honors not only King's legacy but also his source material.
The production values, the 1970s, I was alive, but cinematically and in terms of the world, it made 1975 such a wonderful place, a warm place, a place you remember until the vampires moved to town. But I've never thought, wow, 70s, I could wear that again. I could think that again. I could do that again. And they have the skill to do it. But if it was a living painting, they established that so well. And I think that really honors the ability that Stephen has to paint that picture just on the page with his words. You say, well, why did they make a movie out of that book? Well, the book was enough. The book did it. Unless you can think of something to do with the moving image, then you shouldn't do it. And I think it came together in the best way. And it made us very sort of receptive to the fact that the themes that happen in the story of Salem's Lot and how Doberman pulled it off really is speaking loudly to us today about our predicament this fall in the States, about a malaise like a worm that has gotten into our culture and our society. And are we going to stand? Are we gonna help each other rid ourselves of the seduction of that infection?
So good to be here with you. Congratulations on Salem's Lot.
Oh,
Uh, you
obrigado. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You have some sort of expertise with horror thriller movies, right?
I've done a bunch of them. It's funny. And I only started watching horror movies kind of recently. But I've been in a bunch throughout my career.
And what makes this one different from your previous projects? And how was it for you building Mike Ryanson to the screen? How was your process?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think kind of what sets this film a little bit apart is I feel like almost the town itself takes on the role of like, almost a character in the film. And it's really, I mean, the movie is really about like less, less a family getting haunted it's really just kind of about the fabric of this town sort of deteriorating, this evil presence sort of just like turning everybody, and so that was a really fun thing to be a part of. And then for me and my process and my character, one of the things that really drew me to the character and that I was really excited about is you get to see me transfer from human being to vampire. You get to watch, the light spoiler here, but it happens pretty early on in the movie. You get to sort of watch as my character knows something's coming, doesn't quite know what it is, but knows it's bad. It's sort of like the extreme version of when you start to get sick and you're like, oh my God, am I going to be sick for the next 5 days or I'm going to wake up feeling fine? It's like the ultimate version of that. It's like, what is happening with me? I don't know. I don't know what's wrong. And I have like little figments of like this event of this tragic thing that happened to me. And so for me as an actor, more so than any of the stuff of when I become a vampire, because that stuff's just pure fun and playing and trying things and having a blast and going over the top. But for me, the most exciting part and the stuff that I thought was really challenging and what attracted to me was that intermediate part of figuring out of, oh my God, what's happening to me, what occurred. That was the most exciting stuff for me.
The horror tension is built up right from the beginning, but the way it escalates in the second act is amazing, taking the audience very abruptly into some great and horrifying vampire scenes, as you also mentioned. Walk me through the process of creating the perfect atmosphere to snatch the audience.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny because I immediately go to what the perfect atmosphere as an actor, and we had such cool, incredible like sets, and which you don't always get. A lot of stuff is like done on a blue screen now, and that really puts us in the mood. And for the audience, I think you really feel because the town is such a part of it. You really start to feel the fabric. You get to meet all these people, and we also filmed this in the fall in New England. You can see that in the early scenes of the movie, the leaves are green and the town is all alive. And in the later parts of the movie, it's fall and the leaves are falling and it's there's bare trees. And so we went back and filmed a lot of the same locations that when we started in September, we went back and I think got at the end of November or maybe even early December and got to film a lot of those same locations, and they look completely different. And that matters as an actor, but it also, like, even subconsciously as an audience, if you may not be thinking about it, but it affects the whole mood and how you feel while you watch it. And all those things were really carefully crafted by Gary, the director, and the creative team to make sure that the audience gets to experience that.
I completely agree with you. I do think that the production design makes a whole lot of difference when you are watching a horror movie. And for you, if you could have acted in any Stephen King previous adaptation, which one would you choose?
Oh man, you know what? I can't move past this movie because obviously, it's funny. I say, oh, I haven't read that much Stephen King, but I have read, I've read The Shining and I've read Under the Dome and The Talisman, and like it's just he's so prolific that that's such a small portion of what he's written. It's Stephen King has said that this is one of his favorite books. It's an early work, and I think for us, we were so privileged that he's given us his blessing, and he said he loves the movie, and so to be a part of this one is just really exciting, especially to do one of his early works and one of his favorite books was a real privilege for us. And I know it's not something that Gary, the director, takes lightly. I think he's such a fan, and we all are. So and just to have to be a part of this one is really special.
It's not safe!
Sundown, you better take care. If I find you've been creeping round my back stairs.